In the modern day, you've probably heard just how much people are complaining about the housing market and how it's too expensive. While that is true, there are still a couple of houses out there that are not worth living in, no matter what sort of price tag they come with.
Look behind you! Look behind you! Look behind you! What is it? Look behind you!
Whether they're haunted, dilapidated, or just plain ugly, there are plenty of places that you wouldn't want to be caught dead in. Here are 15 houses that nobody wants to buy for any price. Number 15. House with giant snakes. A house in Brazil recently made headlines after it was discovered to be infested with a large number of snakes. The house, located in the city of São Paulo, had been abandoned for some time before the infestation was discovered. According to reports, the house was home to a variety of snake species, including cobras, rattlesnakes, and vipers. The snakes had taken over the house, with some even coiling up on the furniture and in the closets. The discovery was made when a group of real estate agents entered the house to assess its value. They were shocked to find the snakes and quickly called in experts to remove them. The removal process was difficult and dangerous, and the snakes were aggressive and venomous. It took several hours to clear the house, and the experts had to use special equipment and techniques to capture the snakes safely. Number 14. The Favela houses in Brazil. Favelas, also known as slums, are a common sight in Brazil's major cities. These informal settlements are home to millions of people who live in overcrowded, often unsanitary conditions. Favela houses are typically small, makeshift structures made of whatever materials the residents can find, such as scrap metal, cardboard, and wood. They are often built without proper permits or safety measures, and many lack basic amenities like running water and electricity. One article said, Jacamara says the city government is no longer working on containing the hillsides in the area, and the residents are required to pay electricity bills. The Terra reporter arrived at her house on the same day as one of those bills, and the charge was $48. Despite the harsh living conditions, favelas are tightly knit communities where residents work together to create a sense of safety and belonging. They have their own social structures and support networks, and many residents take pride in their homes and their neighborhoods. However, favelas are also plagued by poverty, crime, and violence. The lack of formal infrastructure and government support means that residents often have to fend for themselves, relying on informal systems of commerce and community support. Number 13. The Villisca Axe Murder House. The Villisca Axe Murder House is a notorious landmark in the town of Villisca, Iowa. In 1912, 8 people, including 6 children, were brutally murdered with an axe in the house, and the case remains unsolved to this day. The house, which is now a museum, attracts visitors from around the world who are intrigued by the grisly history of the place. The museum offers guided tours of the house, which have been restored to its original condition, complete with period furnishings and decor. Visitors can see the exact spot where each victim was found, as well as the murder weapon, which was left at the scene. The museum also features exhibits on the history of the town, the investigation into the murders, and the various theories and suspects that have been proposed over the years. Despite the passage of time, the murders at the Villisca Axe Murder House continue to capture the public's imagination. The mystery surrounding the case, as well as the gruesome nature of the crime, have made it a favorite subject of true crime enthusiasts and paranormal investigators alike. Number 12. House with Booby Trap. Exploring abandoned buildings can be an exhilarating experience, but it can also be dangerous, as a group of explorers recently discovered when they stumbled upon a tripwire-activated knife in an abandoned house. The explorers had entered the house, located in a rural area, hoping to find adventure and potentially valuable items. However, as they explored the premises, they came across a tripwire that was rigged to activate a knife. Fortunately, nobody triggered the booby trap, and the group was able to leave unharmed. This incident serves as a reminder of the potential hazards that lurk in abandoned buildings, particularly those who have been left unsecured or have unknown histories. Booby traps and other hidden dangers can cause serious harm or even death, and explorers should always be cautious and vigilant when exploring these types of structures. Number 11. Korowai Houses, 100 feet above ground on a tree. The Korowai people are an indigenous tribe living in the dense rainforest of southeastern Papua, Indonesia. They are known for their unique treehouse architecture, which is constructed entirely from materials found in the surrounding forest. One article states, as is the case in their tree hunts, the interior of their homes is divided into 2 or 3 rectangular rooms with a fireplace in each. Men and women live separately. The Korowai build their houses high up in the trees using a combination of poles, branches, and leaves to create sturdy platforms and walls. The houses are accessed by ladders or vine ropes and can be up to 40 meters off the ground. This type of construction is not only practical but also provides a number of benefits to the Korowai. Building high up in the trees protects them from flooding and wild animals while also providing a cooler and more comfortable living environment. The houses also serve as a symbol of the Korowai's close relationship with the natural world around them. While the Korowai have traditionally lived in isolation, their unique treehouse architecture has attracted the attention of tourists and researchers from around the world. Visitors to the region can witness the impressive structures firsthand and learn more about the Korowai's way of life and culture. Number 10. House full of spiders. For most people, spiders can be an unwelcome sight in the home, but for one homeowner in Australia, the sight of spiders was taken to a whole new level when they discovered an entire room covered in the 8-legged creatures. The homeowner, who had recently purchased the property, stumbled upon the room during a routine inspection. To their surprise, every inch of the walls and ceiling was covered in spider webs with countless spiders crawling around the inside. While the sight was certainly unsettling, experts say that it's not uncommon for spiders to congregate in large numbers in certain areas, particularly in warmer climates. These spider aggregations can contain thousands of spiders and can last for weeks or even months. Fortunately, most spiders are harmless to humans and actually play an important role in controlling the insect population. However, for those who suffer from arachnophobia, the sight of a room covered in spiders can be a nightmare. Number 9. Hong Kong cage houses. Hong Kong is known for its vibrant energy and bustling streets, but it is also home to a less visible side of city life, the cage houses. These tiny, cramped living spaces are typically just a few square meters in size and are often found in run-down buildings in the city's poorest neighborhoods. The caged houses get their name from the wire mesh houses that serve as the only private space in the room. These cages are stacked on top of each other with one person occupying each cage. Each cage typically contains a bed, a small TV, and a few personal belongings. While the living conditions in these cage houses are far from ideal, many residents have no other options. The high cost of housing in Hong Kong, coupled with low wages and limited job opportunities, make it difficult for many people to find decent housing. One article states that Hong Kong is, quote, a city known for its sky-high property prices, extreme wealth inequality, freewheeling capitalism, and more recently, anti-Beijing protests that have met with an even tighter control by China over the region it regained in 1997 from the British, who ruled it for over 150 years. The cage houses have become a symbol of the stark inequality that exists in Hong Kong, where the wealthy live in luxury high-rise apartments while others are forced to live in cramped, squalid conditions. The city's government has made some efforts to improve housing conditions, but many residents feel that more needs to be done to address the root causes of poverty and inequality. Number 8. The Whaley House. The Whaley House, located in San Diego, California, is a historic landmark that has long been rumored to be haunted. Built in 1857, the house served as both a family home and a courthouse in the early days of San Diego. The Whaley House was plagued by tragedy, with several family members dying in the house over the years. It is said that the ghost of Thomas Whaley, the patriarch of the family, still haunts the house to this day. Visitors and employees have reported seeing apparitions, hearing strange noises, and feeling cold spots throughout the house.
No.
No, listen to what they said.
Despite its reputation as a haunted house, the Whaley House is also an important piece of California history. The house has been meticulously restored and now serves as a museum showcasing what life was like in San Diego in the mid-19th century. Visitors can take guided tours of the house and learn about the Whaley family and their place in San Diego history. They can also explore the various rooms of the house, which are filled with period furnishings and artifacts. Number 7. Walls dripping with honey after bee infestation. The homeowner in Arizona got a sticky surprise when they discovered honey dripping down the walls of their house. Upon further investigation, it was revealed that the house had been overrun by a massive colony of bees. The bees had built their hive inside the walls of the house, which had caused the honey to seep through the walls and ceiling. While the sight of honey dripping down the walls may seem like something out of a children's storybook, the reality of the situation was far from sweet. Bee infestations can be dangerous, especially for those with allergies. The homeowner wisely called in a professional beekeeper to safely remove the bees and their hive. The beekeeper was able to relocate the bees to a new, more suitable location where they could continue to thrive. While it may have been a scary and messy situation for the homeowner, the story of the honey-dripping house serves as a reminder of the important role that bees play in our ecosystem. Bees are essential pollinators responsible for pollinating 1/3 of the food we eat. Without bees, our food supply would be greatly diminished. Number 6. Franklin Castle in Ohio. The Franklin Castle, located in Ohio City, Ohio, is one of the most notorious haunted houses in the United States. Built in the late 19th century by German immigrant Hans Tiedemann, the house has a dark and mysterious history. Over the years, the Franklin Castle has been the site of several tragic deaths and unexplained phenomena. The Tiedemann family lost several children while living in the house, and it is said that the ghost of a young girl still haunts the upper floors of the house. The Franklin Castle has also been the site of rumored secret passages and hidden rooms, as well as reports of strange noises and ghostly apparitions. In the 1970s, the house was purchased by a group of businessmen who planned to convert it into a restaurant, but the project was abandoned when the workers reported strange occurrences and ghostly sightings. Despite its eerie reputation, the Franklin Castle remains a popular tourist attraction and a favorite spot for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts. Visitors can take the guided tours of the house and learn about its history and haunted past. Before we go, click on this video, smash that subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face while you're sleeping. It's time for today's subscriber pick. This particular image was taken of a large mansion-like house that's sitting on the waterside. Normally, a property like this would go for millions of dollars and would be hard to find anywhere. This house, however, was offered up for sale by the owner for a single dollar. Nobody knows exactly why the owner did this. Many believe that the house is haunted, however, and the new owner hasn't spoken publicly about any issues with the house. This could mean that they aren't having any, but could also mean that they just don't want to speak about it. So what do you think is the issue with this house? Why would the owner offer it up for only a single dollar? Remember to comment down below with the hashtag subscriberpick and let us know what you think. Now, on to the next topic. Number 5. Mole houses. Tunnels beneath New York City. The mole people of New York City have long been a subject of fascination for those interested in urban legends and hidden histories. These are people who live in underground tunnels and abandoned subway lines beneath the bustling metropolis. But what about the structures they live in? One of the most intriguing aspects of this subterranean community are the so-called mole houses that can be found throughout the underground network. The mole houses are unique structures that have been built by the inhabitants of the underground tunnels. They are essentially makeshift homes that have been constructed from a variety of materials, including salvaged wood, cardboard, and even discarded metal. Some are quite elaborate and have multiple rooms and even furniture. Others are more basic, consisting of a simple lean-to or shelter made from whatever scraps the inhabitants could find. Despite their often rough and makeshift appearance, appearance, the mole houses are surprisingly sturdy and well-built. They are constructed with an eye toward practicality, making use of available materials and space. Many of the homes have been reinforced with concrete and steel, and some have been outfitted with basic plumbing and electrical systems. Despite their impressive construction, the mole houses are not without their challenges. Living underground can be a dangerous and difficult way of life with limited access to sunlight, fresh air, and basic necessities like food and water. The underground tunnels are also prone to flooding and other hazards, which can make life even more challenging for the inhabitants of the mole houses. Number 4. Winchester Mansion. The Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California is one of the most enigmatic and intriguing architectural wonders of the world. Built by Sarah Winchester, the widow of William Winchester, the house is a sprawling and ornate maze of rooms, hallways, and staircases that defy all logical explanation. The history of the Winchester Mystery House begins in the late 19th century after the death of Sarah Winchester's husband. William Winchester was the heir of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company, a firearms manufacturer that had made a fortune selling guns during the Civil War. After his death, Sarah inherited a vast fortune and set out to build a house that would serve as a sanctuary for her and her family. What followed was an architectural marvel that has left visitors and historians scratching their heads for decades. Sarah Winchester was convinced that the spirits of those who had been killed by Winchester rifles were haunting her, and that the only way to appease them was to build a house that would never be completed. As a result, construction on the house continued around the clock 7 days a week for nearly 38 years. The result of this marathon construction effort is a house that is truly unlike any other. The Winchester Mystery House features more than 160 rooms, 10,000 windows, and dozens of staircases and hallways that led nowhere. There are secret passageways, hidden doors, and even a staircase that descends 7 steps and then rises 11. Despite its reputation as a haunted house, the Winchester Mystery House is actually quite beautiful. The house is filled with intricate woodwork, stained glass windows, and ornate carvings, all of which were designed by Sarah Winchester herself. In fact, the house is considered to be a masterpiece of Victorian architecture, with its gables, turrets, and fanciful details. Number 3. Solvay Hut, Switzerland. The Solvay Hut, located on the Matterhorn in Switzerland, is one of the most iconic and impressive mountain huts in the world. Perched at an altitude of 4,003 meters, the hut serves as a shelter and base camp for climbers attempting to scale the Matterhorn, one of the most challenging and dangerous peaks in the Alps. The Solvay Hut was built in 1915, and it was named after the Belgian chemist and philanthropist Ernest Solvay, who funded its construction. The hut is a simple but sturdy structure made entirely of metal and perched on a rocky outcropping on the Hornley Ridge. One article states the Solvay Hut was built in 1917, 50 years after the first ascent of the Matterhorn, which took place on the same ridge. It offers 10 beds and is equipped with a radio telephone. The hut was named after Ernest Solvay, a Belgian chemist and industrialist who in 1904 donated 20,000 francs for its construction. Despite its small size, the Solvay Hut is a marvel of engineering and design. Its location, perched on a narrow ridge at high altitude, makes it one of the most challenging and dangerous places to build a structure. The hut is anchored to the rock by steel cables and can withstand winds of up to 300 kilometers an hour, making it one of the most secure and stable mountain huts in the world. The Solvay Hut is not only a practical shelter for climbers, but it's also a symbol of the human spirit of adventure and exploration. It is a testament to the bravery and determination of those who are willing to take on the challenge of scaling the Matterhorn, one of the most iconic and treacherous peaks in the world. Number 2. House in Sealand. The house in Sealand, also known as Sealand's Folly, is a unique and controversial structure located on a platform in the North Sea just off the coast of the United Kingdom. The platform was originally built as a World War II gun tower, but was later abandoned. In 1967, Paddy Roy Bates, a former British Army major, occupied the platform and declared it the independent state of Sealand. To solidify his claim to the platform, Bates and his family built a small structure on the platform that would serve as their residence. The structure, known as the House in Sealand, was constructed from metal sheets and had enough room for several rooms, including a kitchen, living room, and sleeping quarters. Despite its modest size and construction, the House of Sealand became the center of the Bates family's operations on the platform. Over the years, the House in Sealand has played a key role in the ongoing controversy surrounding the legal status of Sealand. The Bates family has repeatedly asserted their claim to the platform and declared it a sovereign state, complete with its own currency, flag, and national anthem. However, their claims have not been recognized by the United Kingdom or any other country, leading to ongoing legal disputes and diplomatic tension. Despite the legal battles surrounding Sealand, the House of Sealand remains an intriguing and unique structure that has captured the imagination of people around the world. It is a symbol of human ingenuity and determination, as well as a reminder of the power of individual sovereignty and the ongoing struggle for independence and recognition. Number 1. The Grudge House in Japan. The Grudge House, also known as the Saki Residence, is a house located in Nerima, a suburb of Tokyo, Japan. The house gained notoriety after being featured in the Japanese horror film Ju-On, which was later remade as The Grudge in Hollywood. The house was originally a typical Japanese home, but after a tragedy occurred within its walls, it became the source of many eerie and unexplained events. According to legend, a man named Kiyosaki, in a fit of rage, murdered his wife, Kayako, and their son, Toshio, before taking his own life. The violent and tragic nature of their deaths, combined with the belief in the Japanese folklore of Onryo, vengeful ghosts, resulted in the house becoming a hotbed of supernatural activity. Reports of paranormal activity in the Grudge House have included unexplained sounds, sightings of ghostly apparitions, and feelings of intense unease and dread. Some visitors have even reported being physically attacked by unseen forces. While the Grudge House is a popular destination for fans of horror movies and the paranormal, it is also a source of controversy in Japan. Many people feel that the popularity of the house and its connection to the tragic events that occurred there are exploitative and disrespectful to the memory of the Saki family. As a result, access to the house is heavily restricted and trespassers risk legal consequences. Thanks so much for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.